Constructive Conversations is about sitting down with the people building Calgary, founders, contractors, trades, and designers. My intention is to understand how strong companies, projects, and relationships are built in the city. We talk about the decisions, lessons, risks, and the standards and the stories behind the people building Calgary.
Today, our guest is Bill Murphy. He's the co-founder of Wagepoint, founder of Huumans, Ledgers. He's a CPA, and it's great to have you, Bill.
Oh, hey, appreciate being here, Nicholas. Really quite honored.
Yeah, no, thanks to coming out. And we met at an event that I went to because one of the headlines said the speaker is the founder of Wagepoint, and I was like, we use Wagepoint. That's our software. I want to talk to this. Yeah, it's too fun. And so at the event, you were introducing Humans, which is so you've since exited Wagepoint, and you're introducing that. So since that's the big project you've been working on, can you talk more about Humans?
Yeah, I think Humans it's really probably a lifelong journey for me. I'm a KPMG CPA guy, and go way back when, and we still use stone tablets for making journal entries. It's I've been in the space a long time. I've been in small business. I left KPMG, founded my own public accounting practice, and I worked with a lot of small business there. And when I had my practice, the small business people would come to see me, and I'd be like, well, you don't really need a chartered accountant. What you need is a bookkeeper and maybe a chartered accountant for some specific things. Then realized the bookkeeping industry at that time wasn't regulated. So decided to create Ledgers, which was Canada's first accounting bookkeeping franchise, developed a model where we would have a CPA at head office and then train our bookkeepers in issue recognition. And then if they had any issue, that they would call a CPA and then get that high-end advice. I call it disseminating expertise on an as-needed basis. I still remember that line, and this is like a long time ago. Wow, I just remember that line I used to use. People probably thought I was crazy at the time.
Yeah, but that's almost like fractionary of fractions. I know. It's like it didn't exist back.
I was just way out of my element. I mean, it's kind of funny. And then, so then I left Ledgers, sold it off. It exists today. They have offices in Canada and the U.S. and created Wagepoint. I thought there was a gap in the payroll market space at the time. ADP, Ceridian were the big players. Just moving to online sort of provision, SaaS, software as a service was starting to grow. Mm-hmm. And really looked at how could we simplify payroll for small business people and not make it complicated and all falling in. It's just easy sign up. Created a little robot, like Digit the robot, who would help guide, and we call it Sesame Streeting payroll, or make it so easy Big Bird could even run payroll sort of thing, right? Uh-huh. And very successful with that. It took a long time to build that up with the competition from incumbent players, and was very lucky. Grew it to 10,000 plus customers in Canada. We had customers in the US as well. And in 2020, decided my partner and I were the largest shareholders that we wanted to exit the business. Mm-hmm. And lucky enough, this is kind of funny. We had Raymond James was our investment banker out of Toronto, and we go to market in January 2020.
Well, yeah.
So what's coming. Yeah. So it's like, okay. And I remember at the time, it's like, is this COVID thing going to affect our due diligence? Well, yeah. No one had any idea, right?
No, goodness.
No. So we go and launch, and then of course March, all hell breaks loose. And we're shut down, and we didn't know the impact. We didn't understand the impact on our customer base. Would all of our small business Wagepoint users go out of business? Like, it was really a crazy time, and we were in the middle of due diligence with our an acquirer at that point. So it was pretty hectic, pretty crazy, and pretty stressful. But we made it through, and our customers were loyal, and Feds did a lot of great things with some programs that help support small business people, keep the lights on, and I think we all got through it in our own way. There's a lot of hangover from it, but anyway, very lucky and very grateful. And I always tell the story. I probably told it at the talk that you were at when I sold my position. I think the next day I was on my couch. I was with my dogs on my couch every morning, and it's like my phone. There's no emails anymore. It's like
Yeah.
So I've gone quiet. Yeah, I was like, I'm not needed. Like I spent all this time, through due diligence, working with lawyers and all this stuff, and now it's quiet. And I got an iPad. Never had an iPad in my life. Had an iPad started playing a golf game, then realized it's like, wow, this is quite the scam. If I want to get better at the golf game, I have to buy better clubs, which means they want my credit card. So I thought, I don't think I can do this. I don't think this is a sustainable retirement plan.
Yeah.
And it was at the time there was a lot of this was like September 2020. A lot of fake news was really prevalent. I mean, it's even worse now with AI. It's hard to know what's real anymore. But I thought, I stepped back and said, where's a small business person go for truth anymore? What is truth? I don't even know. If I go to Google and I search, maybe the real truth is on page 32, and I never get past page 1 or 2. And I thought, what if I created this place where no unbiased, no BS information for small businesses to make mission critical decisions, to help them make those decisions, and created their platform was called Tildale at the time. And then as it went on its journey, as all these young companies and startups do, different teams came in, different people. I sort of came in and out of the project. I always had my core vision of what I wanted to do. And then, fast forward many years, and one of the things I did in 2014, I had the concept. So I had registered the domain Humans with 2 U's, humans.com. And that the extra U was to put the U back in human. It's like we need to be accountable for our own place in the human race, and as business owners, and for our own business. We need to be responsible. So that was the second U on Humans. And was able to bring that brand along, and AI sort of caught up with the world. Humans as it exists now couldn't have launched in its current format even a year ago. I think that the timing, everything is right with all the tools and where the world's going. So Humans, we launched the current version, the latest version of the platform on May 4th, which was when I met you. We were just announcing it.
Yeah.
And it's a platform for small business. It's you can find products, the services, education, and the content you need when you need it most. And what we mean by that is we go off of the life cycle of an entrepreneur from idea to exit, because as you go along that path, you need different tools, you need different advisors, so really our platform learns about who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, what your plans are. And it's able to, bring forward content, information, products, services, make recommendations for you based on, your current status and your current situation. We offer free tools as well. Like, you can create a budget, you can connect your books and create a budget, no charge. If you don't even have books and you decide, I'd like to think about this business, we tie in stats and data. You can create a budget and plan.
Yeah, compare with your industry.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all we're care first, commercialization second. So we're all about for every small business owner, what can we do to help? Like, how can I make your life a little better? I mean, I am a small business owner. Humans is not a big company. Wagepoint was a little company at times. Ledgers was. I've been there. I've laid awake at night trying to figure out how I'm going to meet payroll, next week. And, I've had all of that. I've had all those experiences. I know what it's like. I know that I'm feeling alone or ripped off by people that promise you the moon. And really, you pay for the moon, but you don't get the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, it really, the platform wraps up my whole philosophy and, about small business people and helping small business people. And we're in this really weird time of AI. And, you get sold a certain story by the press and by the tech bros of Silicon Valley and whatnot. It's like, how does that apply to me as I don't know. I'm a tradesperson. I'm just a small business. I'm a designer. I'm a restaurant. What do I do with all this? And it's so confusing, and then they just keep jamming tools more down your throat.
Yeah, it's just every day, every week, there's new tools, right? And who wants? You got to use this.
All right. I'm not sitting around saying, well, could you create a world where robots run everything and can control human beings? I'd love that. I didn't sign up for that. So humans, in a way, is saying, look, AI has a role to play if it's done right, and it's supported and overseen by human beings, and that's really, so we have a marketplace in the Humans platform that we're launching next week. So it includes advisors, human beings that can provide services to small business people. But these are people that are vetted, that we know care about small business people, that want the best, and that where we use AI within the platform, so it'll create a budget for you, do certain things, answer some questions. But when you really want that human advice, you can go to the marketplace and we can find you someone, an actual human being to talk to. And I think that's really critical in this world. It's almost feels like, humans, although I have to say that the best thing I'm seeing right now is almost daily pushback on AI from certain demographics, for sure, more than others, but certainly seeing more and more of saying, hold on now, is this really for the best? Is this the best for me, for the human species, for human beings, for small business owners? And so I see some of that, and we're well positioned, and we want to be part of that fight. We want to be part of it. And I stand up for human beings. Well, small business owner is a human being. I always said, and I think I said that when we talked before, was there's no such thing as a business. It's a mental construct.
Yeah.
A business, that you're a business. It's you. It's your employees. They're human beings. They're not things. It's not someone you sell to. It's a human being. So from our approach is always, how can I help? How can I help the human being that is, functionally in the business?
Yeah, that's great. I like that marketplace. So that would be almost along the lines of fractional help, but it's I don't want to hire somebody to do this. I just need to make a phone call. Is that the idea? And then
it's sort of saying that it could be anyone. It could be. It's not a typical marketplace, which is just these bot lists where people either pay to be listed on them, and you just scroll, and it's like forever.
Yeah.
The whole point of Humans, especially this September when we launch our AI matching or intelligent matching of advisors. So yes, fractional for sure. If I need a marketing person for a few hours, if I need an accountant, a bookkeeper, a lawyer, we can find you that help, and that's surely what it is. That our intelligent engine will say, look, the space you're in, if you want to be someone geographically close, we can match you with someone in your geography. It doesn't matter. Do they need to have specific industry requirements? And we can find that person for you. And then we vet. So our whole point is that if they want to be in the marketplace, they have to agree to abide by our code, basically, which is treat all as small business owners with respect, and communicate clearly. All these things that, as a human being, I would expect from a service provider. We force that up front, that if you want to be in our marketplace, you have to abide by those rules. The other thing we do is we don't charge. There's no cost for the advisor to be in the marketplace, because if we did that, then we're saying that it's not free choice, because I'm only going to show you people who actually pay me, and that goes completely against our brand or moral code conduct. It's not how we do. Our first, for us, it's like I said, it's care first, commercialize second. We don't make any money out the advisor at all. We don't take a piece out of what they build, nothing. It's complete service that's free for our small business.
Yeah, so that enables you to connect whoever is really the best match, not just whoever's a good match out of the available who that we're willing to pay to be listed.
Right, exactly. And I remember I worked on a concept. This was during my Wagepoint days. I worked on a concept that was called the exchange. And I said, how do you get the best pricing? The best pricing occurs in the open market. Well, how do you get an open market? Well, an open market is where everyone can compete, and it's an open bidding system, right? So I created this product called the exchange, where a small business person could post a project, and then it would go to specific bidders who aligned with what that project was, and then they can bid on it in an open market. So I'm a big believer in it. Once you close the loop, it's a bot. To me, it's a bot play. And if it's a bot play, then it's not really in the best interest of everyone. And that's, to me, is like fundamentally for small business owner. I want to take care of it. I want to find the best that I can for you, at the best price possible. And that's the other thing that we have the ability. We're launching a health spending account, which is a great tool for small business people. Instead of the big plan, the traditional plan, buy, and insure.
Yeah.
We have this health spending with, we got a partnership with a great provider, and we'll be like one of the, if not the lowest priced health spending account in Canada, because we want to bring pricing pressure, and pricing pressure comes from volume. I always say one voice is ignored. Thousands of voices, hundreds of thousands are not ignored. You can't ignore them. So for us, it's about collecting the voices of small business and creating that power. And at the fundamental core is it costs you nothing. You can sign up for Huumans, join the platform. If you get value, great. If you don't, that's okay. We keep adding, and you want to come back and check in, but there's never a fee. The only time you pay is if you buy a product that we distribute.
Yeah, like if you're going to use the health spending account.
Right, and we make some money off that. Yes, and we make some money off our payroll product and off of our lending product. Because obviously we're a business, we're not a charity.
Yeah.
So we have to have a revenue generation, but it's free care up front first and foremost. And if you never get anything, if you come to Huumans and you went on the platform and you saw some great content, or you found a great advisor and you never bought a product from me, that's great. Because we helped.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The real focus.
Now, no one buys anything. We're gonna have different problems now. But anyway, so
yeah. And so it's been now barely 3 weeks since you launched. Can you talk about like what's that experience like the launch, and what has your role been like? So like I saw you at the talk. Are you getting on a lot of podcasts to talk about it, or?
Yeah, it's. I remember I was sort of half involved in the project for a lot of reasons, but on February 25th, the team, it wasn't going where I wanted, so I stepped in and I said, okay, that's it. I've got to bring this to reality, my vision from way back when, 2020, and set a date on May 4th. And launching is everything. It's, as you know, it's if you don't set dates, if I don't hit targets, then I'm going to get myself in a lot of trouble. So we launched, we developed a little promo, a pre-launch campaign. So we had, within the first 2 weeks, 200 users signed up. We've done three partnership deals now, and one of them actually, this one is really near and dear to my heart. We have a partnership with the Nigerian Business Council of Canada. And you go, well, what's that? And it's like, well, it's for Nigerians that have come to Canada and established small business, and they're an important segment and they're an important part of our, of the small business ecosystem I have here in Canada.
Yeah.
So we can provide specific content-driven items for them. We can provide them with access to things that they would never get. So I'm in Toronto on June 20th. I'm speaking at their AGM. We're officially signing the MOU. So that's one. We have another big distribution deal with a company out of Toronto with services over 2,000 small businesses. Another one here in Calgary. I've not a lot of podcasts. This is my first podcast. But certainly a tremendous amount of activity and a tremendous amount of interest from a lot of different areas, from some bigger companies even. We met with a company, a big billion-dollar company out of the U.S. They service a significant number of small businesses in Canada with their product and wanted to meet because they were intrigued by the model. I think that what I've seen, that the acceptance of our moral promise, this where it's the human being first and care. I think our timing was really good, and the acceptance in the marketplace so far has been tremendous, and super excited to talk about it and whatever we can do to continue to refine the platform to serve small business. We're going to do that.
Yeah, and your passion comes through that you're really there to serve the small business because you've been there. Can I take you back to that? So way back when you have your own firm and you're recognizing the gaps in the marketplace, and you say, okay, we'll start with ledgers and the shift. Can you talk about that shift of going from, was it just you operated like by yourself in the beginning and then saying, oh, I'm gonna build a company to solve this gap that I'm seeing in the marketplace?
Yeah, I think that, I think some of us I don't know whether we're born entrepreneurs and I don't know what the DNA makeup is of an entrepreneur. Before I had my own accounting practice, I created this was way back in there was no internet. And I created a place called Wanted. And I used a Macintosh database computer where people could list goods for sale.
Or
And it was like way before anything, there was nothing. I was like, but I did something really stupid. I rented a space in a mall. And then had my list of stuff for sale. And of course, mall rent ain't cheap, man.
Yeah.
So it was like, you're out. But yeah, I think that, for me, it was, I've always been a fan of, I'm not a fan of status quo it's not change for the sake of change. I don't mean that. If there's a better way or a more interesting way of doing something or more efficiency, effectiveness is really important to me.
Yeah.
So when I had my own practice, and I had a great little practice and it's doing well, and but that gap was so clear to me. It was like, you really don't need me, and there is no alternative. So to me there was this gap. And at the time there were accounting franchises in the U.S., but none in Canada that were founded and born in Canada. So at the start, I had an employee, another CPA worked with me in my practice, and we just sat there and wrote all these manuals, like an accounting manual, a tax manual, like an operations practice manual, like all from scratch, and we'd update them, and then we would train. We started selling franchises, and then we'll train the franchisees. So, but I kept my practice at the same time. So I played both.
Yeah.
Which is always a little trick when you're, for people, especially if it's like a consulting sort of business, is that ability to anchor yourself to some revenue stream. So, you got this here.
Yeah.
I spend my extra hour over there. Right. So it's a really good strategy, and one that I've used to my advantage over the years, even at Wagepoint. I was president of a company here in Calgary that had Wagepoint. My eye on Wagepoint as chairman of the board and oversight and all that. So, that ability to keep the lights on while you pursue your passions.
Yeah,
you can do it. It's great.
Yeah, it gives you some flexibility to not be chasing after every deal. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think that's critical. That's another good point. Is like, I think one of the worst things we can do is chase. And with Wagepoint, we stuck to our knitting, which was we serve it. Here's our ICP. Here's our ideal customer profile. This is who they are. They have 1 to 10 employees. If someone has 50 employees, that's not a good fit for us. We're not going to go changing all of our processes and their code base to win that client. So we stuck. Huumans is the same thing. We're not focused on a firm that has 100 people. They have all kinds of resources.
Yeah,
they can do stuff. I care about the guy. It's one person or it's 3. They don't have anything. I'm out working. It's like, I don't have time. I get a lot. I laugh at some of this AI stuff. It's like, who the heck has time to look here? Here's a course on how to prompt Claude. Well, I have to spend 8 hours to figure out how to interact with a piece of artificial intelligence. When I have, in your case, I have cabinets to build or I have a demo to do.
Yeah. The plumber who's out changing pipes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it's got needs to go home too.
And what I love is these tech guys. Yeah, my toilet's backed up. Okay, Claude, can you help me out here?
Yeah.
And Claude can probably tell you how to do it.
You realize this
Claude's not doing this.
No, it's not swinging around.
No, so it's like, it's fascinating times for sure.
Wow. No, that's really cool. And then in terms of Wagepoint, because so I've been using it since I think I had 1 or 2 employees. And I like you said, it's focused on your ICP, it's streamlined, and maybe you've heard the saying that all software eventually becomes a CRM because people just keep adding features and adding more and more. Yeah. So like, how do you keep that focus and it doesn't have to be software, but say we're going to serve this customer with this product and we're not going to keep adding on this and that just because somebody might ask for it.
Yeah, I think that if you can identify what you are and who you are, what your purpose is, all those things, and align to that, then that becomes it's pretty hard to get off track. It's like everything has to fit, and eventually you'll know because it won't feel right. It's like, this is off. It's not on strategy. Like for Wagepoint, like I said, we were approached by companies with a couple of hundred employees are unions.
Yeah.
And no, it's not even open for consideration. So I think you really have to know who you're targeting, who your market is, what their pain points are, and how can you solve them. And if it doesn't move the needle forward, then it doesn't belong. Like for humans, it's the products that we add on the tech stack point of view are ones that have high product market fit. They're tools that small business people use now. All we're saying is you don't have to go in all these different places to find them when you need them. We can guide you and we put them in one place. So I think it's really knowing your own DNA and who you are and what you built and why. If you can stay to that, we'd like you, I'm sure, with your, if someone said, hey, I need a hotel built. It's not like, okay, I'm going to spend 50 hours on this bid for this hotel.
No, exactly.
I'm going to lose. And even if I won it, they'll probably put me out of business because I don't even know. So it's like stick to that. I always stick. One of the things I'm adamant with the team is we always need to stay on brand. And I don't mean it from a brand point of view that I'm trying to position it so that it's wonderful. I mean from the core DNA of who we are and that we're here to serve. They can never lose sight of that. The minute we stray from that, and we're not true to who we are. And then that's when you get into the trap of chasing things. It was like, oh, I could add this and I could add that. Make me run. It's like
Everything for everyone.
everything for everyone. Yeah.
And is that process of focusing, like, is that something intrinsic? Is that something you learned over time, or do you have like a mentor or resource to do that, to figure out, okay, what are we actually about? What direction am I going to go?
Yeah, I think that's been dialed in for me early on. One of the things training as a CPA, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty focused, right? It's you can't be, you're doing journal entries and you're analyzing, doing some financial analytics or tax or whatever. You need to be pretty dialed in and focused. So I think that training went a long way to really allow me to focus. I remember the early days of Ledgers, I had someone doing some business development work and he'd come into my office and I'd be like so focused and he'd say, man, it's like you just completely focused. So yeah, completely focused. I have this ability to focus. I think it's partly my training, probably partly my personality as well.
Yeah.
But then I'm a big believer in, I don't think I have to be a believer, but I think the reality is different personalities are attracted to different professions. A great sales guy is not going to, if he has that in his DNA, he's not saying, well, I'd like to be an auditor.
Yeah.
And an auditor who won't even look at your shoes, is not going to say, I'm going to be the greatest salesperson ever. It's not saying that you can't change or you can't adapt your personality. I tend to be an introvert, but if someone wants to talk to me about humans, absolutely, I'll talk.
Yeah, because that's moving you towards the mission. But
it's what I've always. I want. This is my life. This is my dream. This is my vision to help people. So I think that you can train yourself. There's lots of great books out there and lots of great resources now about how to, focus your energy and stay focused and stay. And I always say it's how do I cut the noise out, right? There's so much noise, and noise is what distracts you. So if I can clear the noise and ignore the noise and stay focused just on what I need to focus on and not get drawn either by shiny things or emotionally attached to something that drags me off, whatever I'm doing, I think you can certainly train yourself to be better at it. And I've probably done that a lot of practice over the years with, so many projects and whatnot. And when you build stuff from scratch, as it's not easy. It's like there's no playbook for humans. It didn't go, well, I'm going to go copy what?
There's no one else doing that.
Yeah.
And now that you're building this platform, did you have a vision for that, 5, 10 years ago? Like as you were running your other companies, exiting, did you think, oh, someday I want to do this, or did it come up spontaneously?
Yeah, it's really it wasn't a moment of founding. It was a process of evolution. So like I said, I had developed the exchange model, this open market system. I had developed sort of platform and ideas around. So all through my journey from being a small business owner, from the accounting firm to my practice, to Ledgers, to Wagepoint, I learned a little bit and saw a lot of gaps in a lot of different areas. And then on my couch in 2020 was when the fake news came.
Yep.
That's when it really hit me. And then over the years, and now with AI, where it's really allowed me to put sort of all the pieces together in one package and say, oh, wow, everything I've ever thought of and dreamed of, and, you know, the gaps I've seen along the way all fit into this project. I make a joke. It said, you know, you asked about launch, right? So it's like you're building a little Frankenstein baby in your basement, right? And putting all the parts together and putting all pieces together. I'm going to take it out on the street today. And you don't know if people are going to run screaming and go, oh my God, what the heck is that? Or they go, what a cute little baby, right? So, I mean, that's some of the things huge. Yeah, too. Yeah. And it's like for me to put it's one of the things about being an entrepreneur, and is you got to put yourself out there. Like, what does that mean? It means that I stand by my convictions of what I'm creating and why, and whether or not people accept it, that's on them. But you have to follow your dream and your vision, just like you did, right? And any small business owner, I want to do this and this. Well, then, if the market doesn't accept it, the market doesn't accept, but you try.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I went, I did this, I tried. For me, it's Humans was hatched in my brain, the beginnings of it in September 2020. And now it's all out here. And I didn't know if someone would go, never even, that's crazy. Who cares about humans? I just care about AI. I don't know what the answer is. But now, obviously, I think the market's starting to speak and say, there's an appetite, I think, for protecting human beings and putting AI. I say, turn AI on itself or put it in its place. Say, hey, go over there. And I think that we can change that narrative and put the humans back in control, at least in terms of small business. You can't go save the world, and that's not what I'm trying to do. My focus is on how do I help small business people in that 1 to 10, 15 employee range. How do I help them, right, navigate this, protect them from AI and what else?
Yeah. And I think that's really common to a lot of business owners is I like that the Frankenstein analogy. I'm going to bring this out into the world. Now I don't know how it's going to happen or what's going to come out of it. But during that period, right, the past 5-6 years, was there times where you doubted or with your other companies where you're like, I don't know if this is worth it. What am I doing? Like those self-doubt moments and how you work through those.
Yeah, it's probably daily, right? It's like, you want to be in this game. You want to be a small business owner. It's like, man, you gotta, that comes with the territory. And it's not that you drive the feeling away, because it really doesn't do anything, but it's how do I experience that feeling and then move forward? I'm not one to look back. I never look back. It's like, okay, that's great. This happened, whatever. What do I do now? How do I make this better? How do I get this? There's no, in small business and anything we do, any creative endeavor, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees of anything. It's like, but if you work hard and you believe in it and you put your passion in, and the net result is something good for people, like the work you do, because you create something for someone and you've left it with them and you've impacted their life in a meaningful way, that's pretty darn special, right? So for me, it's what drives me, is that I'm doing something for the good of other people. And how can that not motivate? Even when the times are hard and it feels like I'm dragging a 100-pound sack on my back all day with this thing and trying to figure it out. And, but that's what keeps me going. And again, it's never to dismiss the feelings, because they're important. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to be tired. It's okay to be scared. These are all natural human feelings. And you can't put them away. You have to say, okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a day. It's this. It's that. But man, I believe in what I'm doing. And I'm going to do it the best I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think definitely. And anyone in any course of business, any entrepreneur has those days, right? But I like what you say there is you have the vision, that you're making change or you're making something real happen, and you keep taking steps towards that.
One step forward, right? Every day, it's like the Japanese, the Kaizen of the one minor, incremental improvement breath. And I wake up, Humans is that it's been over 5.5 years. So it's like, going around like all the Frankenstein parts, right? Like, no, there's a new part just came in here. I'm gonna tack that in there, and that doesn't look right. I gotta try this one. This head looks better, So I think it's like, it's just can I push forward every day just a little bit.
Cool. And then if we look forward, like, I know it's hard now with the rate of change, but looking out 3-5 years in the future, like, what does humans look like? What does that evolution look like?
Yeah, I hope that the evolution is that it's a place where human beings are in complete control of the environment, of the innovation around the acquisition and consumption of products, services, content, education, right? That we change the paradigm. That it's not that things are driven down our throat anymore, but that it's a mass, especially with small business. It's that group of human beings, all small business owners, that we're all together. We're saying, no, we control the game now, not you. You don't tell us, we tell you. It was funny. I was like, I see these, oh, wow, we laid off 30% of our staff. Yeah, it's great. It's like, I won't buy a product from you. Like, maybe that's someday the future is where human beings go, nah, we don't use ChatGPT anymore. We don't use this company because it's all about take and not give and doesn't support the human being in the chain. That's what I want humans to be at some point. It's this place I know where I'm a human being, I'm a small business owner, I can go and know I'm safe, I'm not lied to, I'm not ripped off, I'm not anything, and I have a voice. And we control AI and we control whatever's coming down the pike, because every day someone in Silicon Valley or somewhere else is dreaming up some other great thing that they think, I don't even think they think we want it. I don't know whether it's control. I don't know what it is and what drives them, but it's certainly not the best. What's in the best interest of the human race?
It's just something else to sell you or convince you that you need, right?
Correct. It's not about what can they do to help you sleep tonight? Like, what can they do? Here's a great thing I'll do. I'm going to terrify you and say it'll be nothing but robots and we'll all be out of work. Does that help? So that for me, that's the dream of humans, is that it's this safe place for every human business owner to go, where they're completely safe, protected, and work together.
Yeah, that's great. And we talked about when we had met earlier about like insurance. I think you were talking about like group benefits, and you had insights, and I'd never heard of this. I've had lots of people approach me and try to sell us, oh, you guys need this and this and this insurance and benefits, and but you sort of have a really different approach, and you had insights into how the industry operates. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think every industry operates to its own benefit, and you're not privy to how it operates, and no one wants you to know. So, for benefits, traditional benefits firms and how they make money and how brokers make money. And this is not a condemnation of brokers at all. I know some great brokers and they provide some great service, but they have to make money. And I don't mind you making money off me, but tell me how you make money off me, and how do I know it's the most efficient, effective way, and that I have the most efficient and effective product for me at my stage. And I think that's what's missing. And when I created, originally Tilde, which is now Humans, it was like, I want to teach you what to ask for. Like, if I'm looking at the benefits, well, here's how the benefits industry works. It's not insurance, for one thing. Benefits are not insurance. It's prepaying, and it's not like a life insurance where there's an actuary underwriting account. We'll charge the guy that he's going to 80 and pray that he doesn't die when he's 60, right? Yeah. That's not how benefits work. So it's really about, or even how to find an accountant, a lawyer, what to ask, how they make money, marketing consultant, or raising money. Like you're so sorry for, all these young entrepreneurs out there, and then someone goes, hey, I'll raise you some money. Pay me $15,000 a month and some equity and this, and I'm going to raise some money for you. And then you spend $45,000 and don't have anything.
Yeah.
Because it served their purpose. It's like, how do we level the playing field, that you have full disclosure, that you're open. I know how you make money off me. It's okay, because you have to make money. If you did all the work that you do here at Calgary Custom Concepts and you made no money, well, you're not going to be around.
No.
And if you come to my house and do something, I expect you to make money. Or otherwise you're not coming back. So it's like, but I want to know how or why or what's there. And, it's, I think you were telling me about a tool that, like, what's a fair price for installing it or whatever.
Yeah, that's our site. It's Calgary Home Services Blackbook.com. So
I love it, but it's the same concept only applied to the services products that small business people consume. So how do I take that same approach and say, I want to open this up? Yeah, I mean, ideally, it's in a world where everyone bids. Maybe someday that's what Humans becomes. Is it's like where people actually bid and compete and make sure you get the best price by qualified providers. So, yeah, I think it's for us is and AI's helped that. One of the things about AI is it's non-emotional, it's fact-driven because it feeds off databases of information, right? It's not thinking. You're just the way it calculates or the way it pulls information and redeploys or redisplays it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So that really helps. So you can say, if I asked how should I find or how does a broker make money? This is more available than it ever was because it was all hidden. So we're just trying to create this place where I know the rules of the game. I know how to pay someone back. It's now I have the power. If I have a full and open disclosure, then I make better decisions because then it's on me. I have the information to make the decision. Now I can make the decision.
Yeah. So it's really giving people like agency to make their informed decisions.
Right. Yeah. Nothing's hidden. You're not locked to it. You're not sold something. You're given access to something and then you decide. And I think that to me is a great place to be.
Yeah. And so seeing as like you work with a lot of small businesses, like our focus, especially the podcast, will be trades. But for someone, they maybe have 1 to 5 guys on their crew and they're going through all the challenges of a typical small business. Like, can you identify some of like, what are the typical challenges like that they might be coming up against, like that information that they don't have access to that?
I think that, if I'm a small, what are the biggest challenges? One of the biggest ones is time. Just don't have time. It's like, and there's a great book by Michael Gerber called The E-Myth, and that was about how, I'm a carpenter, I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician or whatever, I'm a tradesperson, and now I'm a business person. Well, I just said there's no such thing before. I said there's no such thing as a business. It's a human being. So now I'm a human being who's really good at, and for me, my accounting practice, I was a good accountant. But now I'm on an accounting business. I'm running an accounting business. So it's how one of the things that's so difficult is where do I go for information? So how do I know anything? What do I know that? I don't know what to ask. I don't know who to talk to. I have to make 15 calls or I have to get to page 50 on Google to find the answer I need or to this. That's the point of Humans is how do we guide you from, and as a small business owner, like what are the key critical points? Obviously it's like I got to get one done. I have to have employees, I have to pay them. I have to be able to, bid on work if I'm bidding in a way that makes sense, that's priced right, that I make money. There's so much to it. And then how do I market? How do I advertise? And it can become overwhelming. And if you can take each little piece at a time and then say, okay, let me focus on this. I want to get this where I'm really comfortable with how this works. This is how I'm going to hire people and how I'm going to measure them and how I'm going to deploy them. And that. Okay, great. Now this is how I'm going to price. Yeah, I'm going to price all the jobs the same way. If you can put in a very minor way systems and processes, not at some high level where I have a 50-page manual.
Yeah.
But little systems and processes
starting with basics.
And if you think about it, that's what AI agents do. AI agents work best when you say, here's a process, run that process. So it repeats for a small business person, it's, can I put a process around all the key elements? Okay. Okay. Like maybe, one thing we often get, I pay people, I'm paying suppliers every day. Well, maybe pay suppliers every second Thursday. So now I don't even have to worry about it. I just make sure the invoice is in, and every second Thursday I allocate 1 hour and I do that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a way of like, if I can put that, and then leveraging, and that's probably one of the reasons we've built Huumans is to put it in my play where I don't have to go, where it can actually say, hey, have you thought about this little tool? Like, is this something that?
Yeah, they can suggest. Well, going right back to how you started, is you don't have enough time. They don't have enough time to go and look up 10 different resources where can I find a system to improve this and to manage?
Correct. Where can I find the accountant? Where can I find the bookkeeper? Where can I find a lawyer? Where can I find a lawyer that specializes that has a lot of experience with tech companies and convertible debt in Calgary? Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? I'm going to go to Google. Yeah. And then after a couple of hours, your head's spinning. It's like you go to a restaurant. The best restaurants have menus that are probably a set amount of items. You go to a restaurant that's 15 pages long. It's like you're fatigued.
Yeah.
I can't do. I don't want anything. I'm not hungry anymore. I'm gonna eat it. But that, to me, that would be it's like, can you compartmentalize? Can I systemize? Can I create systems and process around little tiny items here and there that make my life a little bit more predictable and allow me some time to do some other things?
Yeah, I think that's really great for the small guy. They can take advantage of AI, make those small improvements small. And I remember when I did that, I used to, invoice would come in, I got to pay this. And then the next thing I know, it's noon, and I've just been replying to emails all morning. He's like, I was supposed to be installing a ceiling, and then nothing gets done. So yeah, that's a good, like, simple start is, okay, we'll do this every Thursday.
Let's create a little system process for yourself. And don't waver from it.
Yeah, that's great.
And use Huumans.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we can finish up there. Anything else that you wanted to cover?
No, I think that, I appreciate the time and opportunity to speak about Huumans and, my passion behind it and help I'm a small business person. I've been helping small business people on my entire career. I love small business people, I love people, the risk takers of Canada. Oh, and one thing I did want to let you know about. So on June 15th, we have our update campaign launching. It's called My Canada, My Story. It's a contest where across the country, small business owners can just take your phone, 1-minute video about your story, your business, what you did, anything you overcame. First prize, $10,000. For second prize, all expense trip to Calgary if you're not from Calgary, and tickets to Stampede, and then third place prize as well. So it's really how do we feature the real heroes of Canada on July 1st is when it's announced. It's like celebrate our country, my Canada, and my story as a business owner and my entrepreneur. I think the page just went up on our website today about the campaign. So super excited about it. And let's get stories out there, right? And owner stories too. Like if you go on our platform and you should sign up, tell your story, man. Or people want to hear it from real human beings, not AI generated slop, right? It's like, it's just someone real.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And I think that really gives some other people, even if they a business and they're thinking about it, that gives them something to aspire to. Like, oh, look, this person did it.
100%. And go to Huumans because we take you from idea to action.
Yeah, we won't have to have a business to take advantage.
You can create a budget right there. I want to set up a hair salon in Calgary. Okay, what it'll populate for? It pulls all the stats game data and some LLM mid data and puts it in there for free.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so yeah, definitely we'll put that in the show notes. Okay. June 15th, that contest is starting out, and make sure you get video on.
Okay, the busy one.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, Bill, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, hey,
yeah, I'm sure we could go for another hour easily. But yeah, that's great. Appreciate your time.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Constructive Conversations. I'm your host, Nick Svekauskas. If you want more Constructive Conversations, please visit our YouTube page, Calgary Custom Concepts, or visit our Instagram page at Calgary Custom Concepts. Be sure to catch the next podcast next Wednesday.